Everyone, I need your undivided attention. I have just become the 10 millionth reviewer on YouTube and beyond! My name's ArtMinusMe. The taste of ink is getting old and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and welcome to my channel. Here is the home of what I like to call Blender reviews, and also the Ruthless Aggression Obsession podcast. Now I know what you're thinking. ArtMinusMe, no one gives a flying fuck about blenders. Well, if you let me finish there, my fellow keyboard/keyblade warrior. Blender Reviews takes either an album, video game, TV show, or movie and does a non-spoiler review out the gate via word association mixed into my magical blender to sum up the artwork in question, so I can then right afterwards dive headfirst into a spoilerific review in long form. Here's an example. If you take ice hockey, a bunch of ducks, the flying V, an alcoholic redemption story, and an epic trilogy, you will get The Mighty Ducks and the Mighty Ducks D2 and the Mighty Ducks D3.
That was easy.
You take Norse mythology, Greek god, a father-son story, the city of Santa Monica, and a great big bushy beard, you will get God of War for the PS4.
That was easy.
And that's when I'll go from 0 to 100 into a spoilerific review. Now lads and ladettes, that's your warning right there, okay? Just like the rude boys in Southend, I love a good spoiler. Not only am I the 10 millionth reviewer on YouTube and beyond, I'm also a musician. And I do the intro themes for Blender Reviews and the Ruthless Aggression Obsession podcast. And at the end slate of every video, I will do a cover song or a original song just to celebrate the completion of the review. So if you take a brief look at my shrine here, you can tell I'm a huge fan of JRPGs, anime, post-hardcore/emo music, platformers, kart racers, animated feature films and TV shows, artsy cinema, hip-hop, indie music, comedy movies, which is all just the tip of my taste buds when it comes to reviewing artwork on this channel. Now, I also mentioned this is the home of the Ruthless Aggression Obsession podcast. Along with being a music and video game addict and film and TV junkie like the rest of us, I'm also a pro wrestling fan. You know, this stuff.
It's been a long time. Yeah, come on.
Hey, bro, it's been my life, my time, my rights, my rhymes, my grind, my struggle, hustle, sweat in my blood to a predator smells fear, and I smell a lot. My competitors went scared cause they smelled I was hot. Excess, the sex, the much success, stress sucks, I want it all, no less, so come on.
Now, if you're a fan of pro wrestling, you know that everybody and their mothers has a wrestling review show or podcast. So I have decided to exclusively focus on my favorite era of pro wrestling, the Ruthless Aggression era. Unlike the Attitude Era, the New Generation, or Golden Age of pro wrestling, the Ruthless Aggression era is debated on when it starts and when it ends. For me, the Ruthless Aggression era begins January 1st, 2002 and ends December 14th, 2008. Now some people might have contention with that, as WWE programming turned PG after the July 20th, 2008 Great American Bash pay-per-view, and if you stay tuned to find out more with me, December 14th, 2008 ends the era on a much needed high note. And don't get it twisted, the Ruthless Aggression era isn't just defined with WWE programming. Like how the Attitude Era, you had ECW, WWF, and WCW. On the Ruthless Aggression Obsession podcast, we will cover not only WWE, but NWA TNA, and when they broke away from the NWA, born from the ashes of WCW, Pro Wrestling Noah, which was the hottest Japanese promotion during this time period while NJPW was on the decline, New Japan Pro Wrestling, despite what I just said moments ago, They are my favorite pro wrestling product today, and they still had some really good matches during 2002 through to 2008, so really can't wait to discuss NJPW during this time. Combat Zone Wrestling. CZW does get a lot of flack for being a wannabe ECW garbage wrestling promotion, and it's not really the cool promotion in the modern era despite still being in business today. But CZW from 02 through to 08 had some incredible matches, incredible storylines, and talent that don't get nearly as enough love online when they really should. And I'm really looking forward to covering the peak of CZW, with the final promotion being Ring of Honor. The glory days of the promotion and low-key revolutionizing the industry along with Pro Wrestling Noah. What you see in NXT and AEW today is what ROH and Pro Wrestling Noah started way back then, in my eyes at least anyway, born from the ashes of ECW in ROH's case. These will be the highly focused promotions I will talk about on this podcast, but I will cover landmark indie events at this time when the opportunity strikes. The only wrestling I will not cover is Lucha Libre in Mexico, just because I am not really familiar on Lucha during the early to mid 2000s at all. Unlike Blender Reviews, the Ruthless Aggression Obsession podcast has a different layout and format entirely, which can be viewed at this example right here. Today is the Sean O'Hare Devil's Advocate Appreciation episode. Biggest missed opportunity in the Ruthless Aggression era. Every time I play WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain on the PS2, I always want to right the wrong and just make him the fucking undisputed champion. Well, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day or evening to watch this video. If you like the concept of Blender Reviews and the Ruthless Aggression Obsession podcast, you know the spiel. Subscribe on YouTube, hit that notification bell, Yakuza kick that like button, and you can follow me on all my socials. It's all the same, ArtMinusMe on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. That's ArtMinusMe on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/ArtMinusMe, and that's for more when I have a wealth of content under my belt. This is more a message to the future viewer who stumbled across this video. And yeah, if you'd like to support me, keep the lights on here, and fulfill my dream of doing this full-time producing content, I would absolutely adore that, and that would be patreon.com/ArtMinusMe. I just want to give a big thank you to the YouTube and content creators that inspired me to take on this journey. You guys really helped me out when I was in a tough spot just with content you provided. I want to give a big thank you to Gerard the Completionist and his entire team. I want to give a big thank you to Arlo. I want to give a big thank you to Wood from Beat 'em Ups. I want to give a big thank you to Lady Pelvic Gaming. I want to give a big thank you to Happy Console Gamer. I want to give a big thank you to Metal Jesus Rocks. I want to give a big thank you to Daniel Santos. What's up, bud? I want to give a big thank you to Tark's Gauntlet. I want to give a big thank you to Ian at 616 Entertainment. I want to give a big shout out to fellow Brit Catechurus. What's up? I want to give a big thank you to Emmy Jones. I want to give a big thank you to Super Butter Buns. Big thank you to Eric Landon RPG. Big thank you to OSW Reviews, that being B1, aka Steve, that being Jay Hunter, and that being Mr. OOC, aka also Steve. I want to give a big thank you to Mighty Keith, and big thank you to Mighty Keith. And I'm probably sure I've missed out a lot of content creators off the top of my head, but if you inspired me at all in any way, just a big thank you. Thank you so much. Before I go, I want to present to you the intro to Blender Reviews. So, grab a smoothie. Oh, I should actually have a smoothie. Before I go, I present to you the intro to Blender Reviews. So, grab a smoothie, kick your feet up. It's a hell of a view when you're watching Blender Reviews. Have a good one, guys.
A record, a movie, an ice whipped smoothie.